Root Healthy Plants.
Terrence here with Root Healthy Plants. Today's video, we're talking about compost. The number one reason I attribute my success to gardening and growing a food forest is compost. Number two is arborist mulch. You can see the lush garden food forest. We have a bunch of fruit trees, fruit shrubs, vining things, ground cover, overstory stuff. We had a bunch of flowers before the groundhogs ate the results of compost. Now, we had a lot of success last year. We're having good success in certain areas, not good success in other areas, but overall, we're at a net win this year. I just want to show you again, because I'm constantly making compost all year round. I'm going to start to produce way more compost because I have much to do for the next upcoming growing season in the spring that we have to get started as soon as possible. There's no better time than the present. Let's get started. Here is 4 bins of compost. This is out of the kitchen, food scraps, a bunch of stuff that we tossed out from the kitchen, and we have 4 buckets of it. I've been holding off dumping my compost. I've been transplanting peppers, squash, tomatoes, you name it. I have not wanted to put new compost in here to turn it to ruin the vegetables that are actually starting to form. This is the last squash, and I've only add compost into my other compost bins. I wanted to see if it would actually produce squash, flower right there, and I'm still holding on to hope that this will produce a squash. In the meantime, I still have another compost bin that I didn't even put together yet. We have a lot more space before I have to knock this squash off. Let's get back to adding compost to this compost bin right here. I've been taking compost out of this one. We're going to add some fresh compost, mixing it in with the finished compost. Look at that black gold right there. That is fresh finished compost. Oh, this is good. I usually keep the leaves to cover up the top of my compost. I don't have any more leaves to add to my compost right now. I'm going to resort to adding wood chips. Our arborist mulch that's been sitting in our backyard that we got 30 dump truck loads. There is no shortage of carbon to balance off the nitrogen in my compost bins, not here at Root Healthy Plants. I'm going to add in a bucket of nitrogen, and then I'm going to balance it off with the carbon. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. I have my trusty pitchfork. They say you're not a farmer unless you have a pitchfork. Get you one. Boy, I hope you are not squeamish, because we have 4 months of kitchen scraps and compost to add in here, and it's not all going to look the greatest. But we're adding in a lot of nutrients. You can see like watermelon, orange peels. It's not too bad. Mixing it in. Now, right now I'm getting a smell. I also did this to be realistic. Some people may start to do a compost pile and they're like, ooh, what's that smell? It stinks. I don't like that. I can't have that. I can't have that. My neighbors are gonna complain. Ooh, I don't wanna smell. If you balance out your compost correctly, you won't have that problem. It won't smell. I'm trying to teach you something. Now this compost, this good compost, the finished compost runs deep down here. I'm just gonna mix this first bucket in with what we have already. And I know we did a good job with this first bucket because it smells foul. 2, we have all this fresh compost and fresh carbon that was sitting on top, all those leaves. You see some sticks and stuff in here. And once it balances out, you won't smell it. It's about balancing out your compost. Once you add it in, naturally know by the lack of smell you get from your compost also. Just understand that a lot of the issue is balancing out your compost. If your compost stinks, there's too much nitrogen in it. Add some more carbon, water it in, you know? It's about doing the steps. You won't have to worry about your compost stinking. My compost don't stink. This compost smells fairly balanced. It's not fully balanced, but it's fairly balanced. I'm definitely gonna balance it out. I smell it a little bit. 2 of 4 buckets going in, and this is gonna make the compost smell a little bit worse. No matter how much I mix it, it's not going to balance out. I know from eyeballing it, 1, 2, I know from how much it balanced out from that last bucket. We did a lot of turning. I would have to do much more turning just to even partially balance this thing out. But what it's needing is a lot of carbon. I'm going to go fill up 2 5-gallon buckets of arborist mulch that's been breaking down in my yard for about 5 or 6 years. And we're going to add this to our compost bin. We have a full bucket of arborist mulch here. And how do we know? Because we can see a lot of the mulchy stuff in there. You can see sticks, wood chips, lots of wood chips. It's a lot more broken down than fresh wood chips, but we have plenty of sticks, carbon, wood chips, and just the result of a bunch of arborist mulch breaking down for years. I might add in a bucket of this right here. Let's add in a whole bucket of arborist mulch. I just added in 1 whole 5-gallon bucket of arborist mulch. And I need to really, really mix this up with all that nitrogen, because that carbon will break down all that nitrogen that I added in thus far. It's about mixing it in and then watering it in. Once I water it in, give it a couple days, this thing is going to heat up, actually. This looks like this is going to be the foulest one far. All right, we got to mix a bunch of stuff in there. Avocado, cantaloupe, oranges, potato peels. This is the peel of the one squash, the one summer squash that I got. I don't know if any of y'all know what summer squash this is, let me know. But this was the summer squash that we grew in the front yard. We only got 1 summer squash out the front yard, but we got seeds in here. And you can see, we compost seeds here at Root Healthy Plants. You can see some of those seeds right there. Y'all see those seeds from the squash? It might be hard to tell, but we compost the seeds and everything, and this is how we get so much volunteers. We'll compost it all. And when we spread that compost, we get free peppers, free squash, free avocado from kale, squash, peppers, tomatoes, eggplant, you name it, we get plenty of volunteers, plenty. Now I'm gonna add in the last bucket of nitrogen, and then we're gonna add in another bucket of carbon right here. All right, last bucket of nitrogen. I like to rinse them out because we have a bunch of leftover resin or leftover nutrients from coffee grinds. Put all that in my compost. I don't like to waste no nutrients, 0 waste. You can see we got a bunch of watermelon, maybe like celery root and such, lemon peels, a bunch of stuff. This smells kind of foul. I'm gonna add my carbon in right away. Let's add in our bucket of arborist mulch. Let's balance this out right now. You feel me? Get it all muddied up with that arborist mulch. Cover up all that nitrogen with that arborist mulch. Get it nice and dirty, muddied up. And then I'm gonna do a layer of arborist mulch right on the top so that it covers everything up for a couple reasons. Get everything nice and dirty, nice and muddied up. All right, now we're just gonna flatten this out real quick because this is gonna break down pretty nicely from all that. Just so y'all can see, we emptied all 4 buckets. These 3 I sprayed out, and I sprayed them out into this one right here. This one has the rest of the coffee grinds and everything else that smells like dumpster juice. We're gonna dump that in here. We need to hydrate the compost bin. So I'm gonna take this bucket with me to go get 1 more bucket of arborist mulch in our backyard. I'm gonna take y'all with me as I do that. We walking, nice end of summer day. Got a bunch of wood chips back here. Bunch of wood chips. I could take some wood chips from anywhere, really. Some grass growing here and there. We're gonna come to the same spot. See where we got it kind of hilly at right there? That's where we got the most wood chips. We're gonna take from this area here. When I start talking about arborist mulch, I come back here and get some. Like I said, I got 30 dump truck loads for free about 5 or 6 years ago. And it's been breaking down back here ever since. And I just fill up buckets as I see fit. Whenever I need it, I just come get a bucket. Whenever I need carbon, come get a bucket. Whenever I need ground cover, I come get a bucket. And this is my back to eating garden method. I'm a bit extreme getting 30 dump truck loads of arborist mulch delivered to my backyard, but I'm an extreme type of person. Take me as the example. If you're thinking about getting a dump truck load of arborist mulch, you could take advice from somebody who said, nah, 1 dump truck isn't enough. I need 30. Give me 30. If I'm gonna do 1, I'm gonna do 30. Yeah, extra, super extra. We got our bucket filled up. back to the compost bin. Yeah. Y'all see this last lemon needs to get covered up. We probably made lemonade or put that in our tea, but we got our last bucket of arborist mulch coming in, and it's just gonna cover everything up. Keep all that nitrogen covered, and it also helps keep down that smell, whatever little smell there is. But everything was nice and moist. Water it in, and we're good to go. I just finished showing you one of the ways that I compost a lot of my nitrogen, a lot of my kitchen scraps, a lot of what I choose to compost. That's not the only way I compost. I compost several different ways. I do cold compost, I do hot compost, I do compost where I don't even add kitchen scraps, where I just add in grass and leaves. There's several different ways that I like to compost, and I have several different compost bins for different purposes. If you want to know more about how I compost, why I compost, how I like to compost, what the results of my compost is, let me know, put it in the comments, and we will get videos out. It's something to talk about. If you've gotten this far in the video, hit that like button. Something about this video has intrigued you. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Root Healthy Plants.